Good morning. You are watching Y in the Morning, and it's about that time we delve into youth and politics. I am Hilda Wadidi, and in this segment we are going to discuss some of the issues arising in the world of politics and development and everything government and Kenya. And with me in studio, I have one Brian Kiprono and Jane Nyaboke, who is an advocate of the High Court. Brian himself is our political analyst here at Y254. I would allow them to say good morning to you.
Okay, very good Monday. This is Kiprono Brian. We are ready for discussion with my fellow advocate from High Court.
Jen, they would like to hear you.
Yeah, I would like to say good morning to Kenya. Good morning, everybody. Yes.
All right. So the governor of Nairobi, Mike Sonko, has released a list of potential people who would replace him as Polycarp Igathe as the deputy governor. And in the list, it features one Miguna. What is your opinion on that? Do you think Miguna would be suitable to become the deputy governor of Nairobi County? Brian, I'll start with you.
Maybe I cannot say only there's a big name like Miguna, but you can see again it's a list of 21. And that news was broken actually through the Facebook page for Mike Sonko. Remember, there is new names, people like Jim Nambaru, who are the former contestant 2013. Big names like John Gakuo, the former town clerk. There are many names, even funny enough, the big media names like Kiguta. You know, actually,
I think I should read the list so that everybody can know the potential list in case they never saw it. We have Miguna, of course. We have Uhuru's cousin brother, that's what is being called, Jomo Geshaga. We have the former town clerk, John Gakuo. We have Millicent Omanga, a nominated senator for Nairobi. We have Ann Kiguta, a political TV presenter. We have Esther Passaris. We have Shebesh. We have Moho Uhuru-san. We have Jim Nambaru, and we have Ole Kiapi featuring in the list. What do you think of this list of potential? Who is the best? Do you think it should be a woman?
I don't know where that list came from, but in my honest view, I think that Miguna has come out and cut himself out like a very honest person and who says his mind. And when he gave his vision, I remember his interview. When he gave his vision, he was being interviewed. Sonko was there as well. I think Miguna did even better than Sonko. So if actually that list came from people that have weighed down, I doubt if it is, because some of the names I'm hearing there, I don't know what value they were to Nairobi. But in my view, Miguna is a lawyer, and not because I'm a lawyer. And he has, in the recent past, cut himself out like an honest person, hard-working person. And I think we look forward to a Kenya that has people who are honest and who are willing to deliver. I would put thumbs up for Miguna. That whole list you have read.
It's just Miguna.
That list you have read. If there is more, then we'll talk about that. But on the list you have done, I think thumbs up for Miguna.
All right, and Brian?
No, basically maybe I can say, apart from that list that we've read, that is like 10 names. But basically the top of the list are former politicians, current politicians. Talk about the top business people in Nairobi, top lawyers like her and advocates, and even top people who have been actually in the public service. What is there actually, I think, in politics, we usually say in politics, there's time to gauge, testing the waters. At this point now, I think Mike Sonko was trying to test the waters yesterday night to understand what is the mind of Nairobians. Maki is said in that Facebook, post, out of 1.3 million fans, 952 are Nairobians. Now I'm giving you time to do what? To decide. Now I'm sure there are people who are now gauging, doing analysis to understand what are the views of these people. Because now we need to appreciate that the social media is a new tool now to guide the country. It's now called the fifth estate, apart from the mainstream media.
Yes.
And I'm sure from that now, when this boardroom meeting will be done, because I think as per the law, he's supposed to submit a new deputy governor before a certain time, I think before next week. That's what I'm sure. There's a reason why he had to throw something out of the table.
So you kind of think that maybe he posted it on social media so that he would hear people's
comments and values. But remember, this is Nairobi, this is politics. And I think you understand the politics. I saw you vied last time. you know, these are what called boardroom meeting. And remember, Nairobi is one of the critical counties. And is a breadbasket of the country. So I'm sure the next person will be there. Remember, Polycarp Igathe was after a boardroom meeting, an agreement. And don't forget, Polycarp Igathe is number, I think, 18 in that list again.
He has appeared a second time.
Yes.
Anyway, moving away from Nairobi politics.
I don't want to move away from Nairobi.
Okay,
I want to just make one statement that when we went into devolution, I think what we had in mind is technocrats,
Yes.
really, to run our capital cities, especially the governments, local governments, which are now, of course, county governments. And I strongly feel that not just in Nairobi, I think we should be looking more into the issue of technocrats than politicians, being governors and deputy governors. And that's why my eye is on a technocrat more than a politician. Someone who can be able to deliver, someone who can beautify our counties, someone who can look into the future, far into the future, not about 2022 or thereafter.
Okay.
So that we can be able to give services to the people. Like Kiprono is saying, Nairobi is the eye of Kenya. It's actually the face of Kenya. So we should be more serious than just pick people because they are related. I'm hearing this cousin and brother, you know. I think that's not where we should be looking at. We should be looking more into reality. What is it that Nairobi need? What is ailing Nairobi? And in which way can we make it a city like New York, like all these other cities? Why don't we go Dubai? Why can't we change the way we look at Nairobi?
Maybe to add on that, before we close on that issue, is this. Remember, there's now a big thorn in terms of devolution, in terms of deputy governors in particular. Remember during the issue of Nyeri, you remember now Nairobi is a victim. You know, Nyeri now, at the same time with Nairobi, have to pick a new deputy governor in place.
Yes.
Remember, actually in the COK 2010, I'm not a lawyer, but I've read better about the constitution on matters of devolution. There is no major defined role. It's only to deputize the governor. And one thing again, these governors are politicians. That's a fact. We cannot escape that. Remember, during actually the Nyeri, after the death of Gakuru, Dr. Gakuru, the Nyeri residents were trying to say, no, what is the law saying? But the law is so clear. After a certain time of actually vacuum in governor's office, who takes over? The immediate governor. Then the immediate governor cannot now decide who is the next deputy governor until this time now. Now the reason why you see Polycarp Igathe was out by 31st of January. 1 month was gone, that is February. We are nearly half of month of March. So remember, there's a playing factor here. One thing, the same governor will need to get some people who will come and take the agenda first. And remember, these are politicians. They need to consider to balance between technocrat, as how actually my fellow advocate is saying. At the same time, the person will come and take, because the governors will need to get people who are in the same line with him, either him or her. That's a big thing that we need actually in the next future, when even actually I'm proposing to say, in future, doing a referendum, let's talk about the activities and the roles of the deputy governors in detail, like the one for governor.
Kiprono, can I ask you, my mind tells me that it is not actually the governor who should be picking his deputy. I think there's a structured way. The constitution is structured in a manner that when the deputy governor and the governor, they are tied in the hip. So in my view, when the deputy governor goes, I think we should be going back to a new election, in my view. And if it is not the case, but we should be looking more into the issue of, can the pair move forward? How did this marriage break? But I think this thing is bigger than just Sonko sitting down and drafting a list and sending it in. It's just food for thought. What is good for Kenya? Is it about the deputy governor who is not able to have a run with his deputy? Deciding now, I want a different deputy? Isn't there a structured way these things are done, if I may ask?
Okay, but wait. Most people would say you're suggesting that we have a whole new election for the position of deputy governor.
I'm thinking aloud.
So, but the deputy governor resigned, like you said, in January.
Yes,
and it's March now, and almost nobody noticed that.
That's why.
No, it was a confusion, if I may. There was the issue of this is the end of the rule of Sonko in Nairobi, because the deputy has gone. It was a debate. There was a conversation.
But
I don't know where that conversation went.
For 1 week,
it
and then and then that was it.
Yes, because we were so ingrained in politics. We were having too many things to chew. Like us Kenyans,
so the deputy governor thing just
serious things come up, and in a very short while, we have very short memories.
Speaking of things that have come up, this new CS, Tobiko, has been summoned by the Parliamentary Environmental Committee because he has come and people are saying he's rough like Matiang'i. He's come and reorganized the whole, he's the CS of Environment, by the way, Kiraiku Tobiko, Mheshimiwa. Yes. What do you think is happening there? What's your take? Is he being too firm? Is he imitating Matiang'i? Or do you think he's actually just doing his job, given his background as a police? Yeah.
I'll give you 3 strands. One, Tobiko is the next, you can say the next de facto Matiang'i. Why? DPP actually, when he was during the office of the DPP, he's this firm person. He believes in rule of law. You've stated one thing. He's a former police in charge, right?
Yes.
Remember again, Tobiko was passionate about environment. From the own look of the things, even you can see some of his friends were quoting that, even when he was actually in DPP, remember his background in the community of Maasai. These are people actually, these are actually people who take care of maybe the herders and everyone. They were saying, sometimes it could somebody can quote him, oh, I'm back at home, but there's no water, by this time there could be rain and everything. So ng'ombe yetu itakosa maji. Fortunately, he was given that position environment. And remember, during her DPP, actually his DPP tenure, actually he was even advocating during the time meeting the big bosses and everywhere. He could advocate the issues of the law, at the same time environment. That's, I can tell you, that's a ticket for him. Number 2 is this. Remember, a CS has exclusive right when he assigns to an office, because you are given powers to decide people who you'll work with. That's like a deputy governor, or maybe a governor, or even a president or a deputy president. That's the reason why when you go to an office, you bring the people who are in line to that office. That's the reason why you can get some people in procurement being changed. Maybe some manager. That's the reason you have your own PA. You have your own administrator. But they have to follow the rules actually of the Employment Act.
Okay.
So I can say he's 60% right. 60% right in terms of what? Maybe dissolving the offices, because there has been a cartel in environment.
Okay.
And that's the reason I have deforestations, among other things.
So you're saying he had to do what he had to do because of the issue of the cartels and the deforestation thing becoming a bit serious. Okay, because we need to wind up, I'd like to direct this question to you. Today we've woken up to news of over 1,400 graduate police officers resigning because they have experienced a slashing of their salaries by almost half. The graduate doctors were making about 36,000 and 11,000 in allowances, but now when they were paid, they got 18,000 and 9,000 respectively. So basically it was slashed halfway the salaries, and they were not consulted. So what does the law say about making a move like that, the National Police Service Commission? Are they allowed to just slash your salary without letting you know, just like that? What is the legal stance?
I don't think so. But I just wanted to say something very quickly, less than a minute, about Tobiko and what he's saying, he's doing.
Yes.
I do not think that a Kenya that we are looking for is a Kenya when you go to office, you say it's my turn to eat, or it's my turn to put my people, or my friends. I think it's been in office such a short time that you could not have definitely made a decision that everybody in environment was wrong, or was a thief, or was hiding, or something like that. I think that if you have come into a system that is not good enough, what you do is you decide this is human resource. You send them to seminars. You change their way of looking at things. I think that we are all Kenyans, and all of a sudden just removing from people from office, people who have families, people who are also committed to Kenya. I think we can say we are moving forward. When you see Baba and Uhuru greeting each other, they are not saying remove these people from office, because if we did that, they would not have shaken hands. I think it is time for us as Kenyans, when we go to office, we improve what is in office and not sack. This is something of the past, and we cannot continue dealing with it. Coming to the police service, very quickly, it is not possible or it's not right. It is nowhere in our books that you can go into an office and slash salaries of people. What you do is that maybe keep them stagnant, but there must be a way, there must be a task force. There must be a way Kenyans should be convinced reasons why we should reduce salaries. In fact, the police force is very poorly paid. We have members of parliament earning over $1 million with allowances.
Imagine.
We have a power force over 200 members of parliament. I think we should be looking at who is it that we should cut the allowances and salaries, not police. You know, this country cannot run without police. We need them in every angle, and they have every right to protest like anybody else. I think it is inhuman when someone is used to a certain style of life, and you are the one who offered them that salary. There is a letter of appointment, and you just remove it and expect them to sit there and not to go to court. I stand up with the police. I think they should be given their salaries, and we do a task force slowly, find out the future, not the present. You cannot cut down salaries of people who are fundamentally the backbone of the security of this country. I think this needs to wait. I don't know whether people wake up in the morning and decide on these things. Actually,
Atwoli has come running very fast to respond to that. He's the Secretary General of KOTU, to respond to that move. He said that by slashing their salaries, they went against the International Labour Organization Convention 95 on the protection of wages that says that you cannot cut a salary without informing the employee that you're going to cut their salaries. However, we would like to know from you, Kiprono, as a political analyst, without now the emotions of people's rights being infringed, what do you think was going through the mind of the government when they made a move to slash the police salaries?
I think basically I can try to say I join her sentiments. And basically there's one thing I think we need to talk about. And it's good actually, like the KOTU Secretary Atwoli said, there is infringement of issues of wage bill and everything. The wage is actually not the wage bill, sorry. The thing is this, I'm not sure the reason why actually the police are actually infiltrated is because being them as a stakeholder, because this thing is an issue of stakeholder. Who are the stakeholders? The police themselves, their associations, their unions, and their heads and everyone. And now National Police Service. But now being on that, I think, you know, when it comes to issues of security in this country, it is security has its own way of doing things. Sometimes you get things are being done because they have their own consultation. Like you see, there's NSA, National Security Council. Maybe there's a reason behind it, but you're not sure. But now because it has erupted now, we'll be told now the right way. I think Kavuludi and the team, they understand why they did that. But again, it's true. It will now lower the morale. Having that, you see in the morning, you get in the news 1,400 resigning. It's a big bang to our country. Like but I'm sure the country will work on that, and the government will be in place. The president is back. They'll have a board, you know. All these things will have to settle in a way. Remember, the country now, we have a lot of issues to achieve. Lecturer strike, issues of environment.
Yes.
The police is now up.
And now it's about that time. It's about that time. So I need both of you to give your last parting shots on the issues arising in the world of politics, what we've just discussed. So I'll start with you. Yes.
My parting shot is that Tobiko should get back all those people back to work and find a way of dealing with these issues. Let's be very sober. A Kenya that is sober, a Kenya that is considerate, a Kenya that is not tribal, a Kenya that embraces everybody. Let's be each other's keeper. And the issue of police force, I think Aturi is very right. I don't know whether the police have their unions. They should strengthen those unions and let's have these people back to work. The police do really serious work. We need them. We don't need to kill their morale. Because when you slash these salaries down, did you give them notice? Did you tell him, for example, that if your child is going where they are paid for 30,000, in the next 6 months, we shall be reducing your salary so that you can prepare their families and then move forward. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe to say as a parting shot is this. As a government, I'm sure they need to work on such issues because it's now being marathon from teachers, lecturer strike, police issue and everything. For police, I'll say one point. Let the unions be strong. At the same time, let them be sure that remember that actually the government is the employer. They need to have a round table with them. Number 3, the issue of environment. I may have talked about actually the issue of change. Change is good as the rest, and change is inevitable. So we must allow actually the CS to work with the PS, but again, let's follow the rule of law. Let's not jeopardize other people's work in the expense of getting some change. But I'm sure one thing, with the recent changes since on 9th after the handshake, you realize now the news is there's good economic shift and everything. I believe there's great Kenya ahead of us. And again, let's matter about youths. Youths who are suffering outside there, we see our fellow people are suffering. Let them get better share and economic actually in place. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. You have been watching Youth and Politics. I am Hilda Wadidi. Do catch us next week, same time, same place, as we discuss issues concerning your country and your government. Do not touch that dial. Shiko Kaitani is coming through with Man Talk Monday.